Okay, all right. So what we're looking at, you can see we've got this impulsive move from yesterday, right from this low here. I'm not sure if you caught this one, but on this one, when we did the Zoom price was somewhere here, I think, and it was retracing. And I was looking at this, I was looking at price actually extending the low and giving a baseline bounce and then pushing. It actually ended up doing that. And they gave another setup here, which was if you, depending with your TDI values, the one I use on my phone, it was right on the baseline. So we had a double baseline bounce here, but my first entries were right here. Then I just scaled in and I was targeting this level here. And I think I closed out here. So looking at it today, I'm looking at a potential push up into this area here. So if we go to the H1, you see that's a level there which was broken by this impulsive move here. So price has been actually pushing down, and this is a retracement, or it's a possible retracement to price actually continuing to the downside. At the same time, we want to pay attention to this level. If you notice, I just drew that level here. So if price does retrace, we might actually get price actually buying into this being a reversal setup. So that's how I'm looking at B 1000. So for now, I've got one position at CMP. I just want to see how they react around this area, because if you also notice, we've got a minor zone here. This level, which was broken here, price came below, and I just extended it just to see how price reacts with it. So if we can break and come back above, then I might actually scale in and we'll wait to see if price can get to 13,830. That will be my target. All right, so let me extend this zone. H1, we are trading above the 13 EMA. The only thing stopping us here is the 50 EMA. As you can see, if the 50 EMA was not here, this price would have actually pushed up here already, but right now it looks like they're retracing, but we are trading above the 13 EMA, which makes the bias valid. So dropping down to M30, see if there's anything we can use there. Price almost creating almost like a baseline bounce there. So just keep an eye on that one. Then M15. We'll just wait. If you see, we already have a baseline bounce here. Yeah, we had another one here. So it's this level and this level. Let's just confirm. Yeah, so we have this level and this level. So that shows price actually has the potential of pushing up. They just have to break the level they're at right now. So I think safe buys can come above the current high. And if you notice also from the left, we've got these two equal highs here, which are also in line with this particular order block. So price looks like it has broken this. It will retest, then it will continue up. So if we can get a break above here, then we can scale in, and we'll be looking for about 50 pips from this trade. So we'll see how it plays out. So going to see 1000, you can see we had this impulsive move. So let me touch on yesterday. I remember yesterday I shared a post and I was like, I'm going to explain the reason our sell didn't play out. You remember we had a sell here. We had a sell here yesterday. So my sell was an early entry based on price reacting off the previous day's high. So we had a peak, we had a broken order block and a retest. So this is an example of a failed pattern. This is a failed pattern. So price actually continued pushing up, extended the highs. Oh, bless me. They pushed up all the way until the day almost closed, and they set a new high now. So my reasoning, or what I wanted to explain, is, do you notice that on this particular setup which we were taking, we were still trading above the 13 EMA? We were still trading against the trend. So that's one of the main reasons why the setup failed, because we were literally trying to force a trade here. It would have been okay if price had closed below 13 EMA, then retraced, then we could have taken a sell. But this was an early entry. If you've got a 13 EMA on your chart, you can just try to use it for your trend, for your intra-day trend. So looking at how it's looking today, you can see we had a peak and we broke an order block aggressively. There is no retest yet here. So my point of interest for now, I actually have two. You see, I marked this level and I marked this level. This is also near this order block. And for this minor peak, this is also an order block. So this whole zone here is a point of interest. Point of interest, sorry, it's a point of interest for sales. This area also, I think it's from the 4 hour. Yes, it's from the 4 hour. So if you look at it like this, you see price also broke there. So two things can happen. Either if we've got acceleration in the market, price will just tap into this one and continue selling. But if price decides to actually move like in a normal trend, they'll potentially pull back to the order block they broke, then they will push down. So those are my 2 points of interest there. Coming back to H1, I'd love to get a retracement. So if we do get a retracement, I'll simply run a fib, see where price retraces to. If we start to retrace from where we are, that means my points of interest will start right here, right where the 50 EMA is. I'll have one position here, one position here, one position here, all the way into the order block. But it all has to depend with your risk as well. If you want to be safe, you can wait for H1 or M15 to reject. I'll show an example just now. So if price starts to retrace, you want to wait for M15 to give you a nameable candle. Let me show you a quick example, like what happened on C5 yesterday. So we were in this, there was this impulsive sell here. Then price started to retrace. Remember, we've got a broken order block here, which is also a point of interest. But if you ran your fib from the top to the low, you notice that price reacted off 38.2. Right, so right here we had a nameable candle. This is a candlestick we know right there. That's a pin bar rejecting the 50 EMA and the 38.2 fib retracement. And this trade played out. I think it was 30 to 40 pips, if I'm not mistaken. Then it started to retrace. So C1, that's the pattern we'll be looking for. If we are retracing now, M15, we simply have to wait for price to give us a nameable candle on a level, then we can execute. So that's my current setup for now. If they do sell from here, it won't be a complete retracement because 38.2 is only up above here. So this 4 hour level, if they sell from here, I might miss this trade because it won't have met my entry criteria. But if we get a rejection candle anyway in this area, then I can look forward to take a sell, maybe target the 800 EMA for a take profit, which is also the TP1 of this move. So that's my view on C1000. C500, almost the same thing. We were anticipating a reversal yesterday, but price came, took out this high. I think it almost took out this one as well, or its equal highs. So we've had an impulsive move. We're looking for a retracement. My points of interest, again, I've got two. I've got a broken order block here, then I've got this zone here. So on one of those two zones, if I can get a reversal candle or a nameable candle, maybe on M15, then I can look forward to execute. One other thing you'll notice that on both C5 and C1, we are trading below the 13 EMA on H1, meaning that the bias, our bearish bias, is actually valid. The only thing we're looking for right now is an entry, unless price violates this whole area and does something else. But for now, C1 and C5, we've got a bearish bias. The only thing we're waiting for is a retracement into a point of interest. Then we execute. The only other thing which might happen is price might just accelerate without giving pullbacks. In that case, we might end up missing, but we'll just see how price will be playing. Then we'll just trade accordingly. Then looking at C300. Okay, C300, you can see I marked a few points of interest. Daily, we're about the 13 EMA. Looks like we could retrace. I remember this one, we wanted price to close, the daily candle to close first before we got a bias. So if you notice, there was no safe sales. No safe sales. Price actually decided to push up. So at the close of this daily, we can see that we are bullish. So price can still come into this 200 EMA. They can still come up into this zone before we get that sell. So for now, I would say I do not have anything. H4 still above the 13 EMA. Same applies to H1. So for now on C3, I do not have anything. I'll only consider sells after I see a peak of some sort, maybe an impulsive move. Then I'll start looking for sells. But as of now, C300, no setup. B5 looks like we are respecting this zone here, the supply zone here. We've been respecting it a couple of times. Yesterday we failed to break it. So right now we are also below the 13 EMA. So just based on this information on H1, we can already tell we do not have a setup here. We do not have a trade. TDI also shows that there's volatility coming to the downside. So I do not have anything on B5 at the moment or for today. B1, I think we spoke about this. We'll keep stalking here. We still want to scale in if this level we are on holds. We want to scale in here. This bias for me looks like price will definitely push up, and it can even push up as high as yesterday's highs, which is right here. So we might even see price break this level and come up here before we get any sales, but we'll just keep an eye. Again, this is also a point of interest. If we zoom in there, you will notice that we've got an order block, which is also a demand zone. So price can potentially come and tap into that zone as well before we get by. So we'll just keep stalking on B1000. J10 going sideways. We're looking at this level yesterday, and we also had the zone. If you notice, price has just been all over the place. So I do not have anything on J10. V2501S. We're looking at a sell, but I remember I said I'm not going to be active on it. But if you notice, we actually had a nice break of this level. Price retraced, gave a nice pin bar below the 13 EMA, so we are bearish. We had a nice continuation here and an almost baseline bounce on the TDI there. So if you drop to M15, you will notice that I just marked this. So for this particular setup to be valid, we consider this a peak and this the order block. So price still came and broke So we could have sold here, stop loss here, and the trade could have played out nicely. So that was a good setup as well. So let me just check if okay, we're left with step. Okay, so for today on V250S, let's see. So I've got this level on the daily. Right on the bottom here, you can see it's a marked level. Price has taken out liquidity, so possible retracement going back up. So here we also have two impulsive moves. We've got this one and we've got this one. So price can do two things. We can get another impulsive move, or price can actually retrace back into this area, making the bias we have from the daily valid. But for now, I wouldn't want to trade on this one. Let's see H1. I wouldn't want to trade on this one because this price action, these impulsive moves are too big. Right, all these drops, they're too big. To get a retracement here might not be possible. So we might still lean on sells, but again, just bear in mind that the daily could actually retrace because we are on this zone. We've taken out liquidity here, so we might still retrace up. So it's almost like a 50-50 bias here, so I won't take any trades on this one. Then step index. I'm not sure if you caught step. Step, we marked it nicely yesterday. We had a point of interest way up here, and price actually retraced all the way up and gave a doji right on the point of interest. So this could have been a sell. That could also have been a sell, but let's just look at it from the daily. So price can potentially continue pushing down here. We can potentially keep pushing down here based on the daily 4-hour. We rejected the point of interest, which is this area here. This whole candle here is the whole zone. We also rejected the 13 EMA. Price can still come take out these lows, take out liquidity, and maybe get into this zone. That's a potential move here. Can they come up here first? Yes, they might, because remember, we also have a point of interest. So they might decide to take out these highs, push as high as this area before they actually come back down. That's also a possible play. Then H1 now. So for us to buy this, I'd love to see price come back above this candle here. If we can come back above this, I can consider a buy. But for now, it looks like we might be continuing with sell. So let's see. We're also trading below the 13 EMA at the moment. So this might be an impulsive move, retracement, continuation. This should work as a TP if this push down actually happens. Okay, not much to use there on H1. I also have this candle. So I've got this candle for a potential push up, but at the same time, I've got this candle for a rejection and a continuation down. So if we have a buy here, it could be short term, but we want to see how price is reacting with the 13 EMA. If we get a close above, we might get a scalp buy. That's also possible, but for now, I've got nothing too solid here. Nothing too solid here. Let's see. Okay, peak order block. Okay, so if we get something like this, if price rejects this area, then it will continue getting those sells. If we come above, we might get buys back up into this level. But for now, I would say again, step, nothing too solid here. This could play out either way. So if you're trading it, just be careful with it. So I think that's it from me today. Step, I won't trade. V250, I won't trade. J10, no trade. B1, actively stoking. The runner, I think if we get it close below the 13 EMA, my runner will be closed here. Then I'll wait to see if price will actually tap into this demand zone or into this order block here before we get a buy. So B1 actively stoking, B5 for now nothing, C3 nothing, C5 and C1 just waiting for a possibility of pullbacks, then we can jump in onto these cells. So I think that's it for me today. If there's anything else, I'll send through on the Telegram group. If you have questions, you can drop them in the Telegram group as well. Then I'll definitely respond. Thank you so much for making time. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Good trading.